and one of my favorite quarterbacks in all of college football, and that's Jalen Milroe. And the topic of today for this one is going to be, should Jalen Milroe spend another year playing college football just to build his draft stock? Now, if you watch college football, even if you're kind of a casual fan who just kind of watches highlights here and there, maybe you don't really have time to sit there on Saturdays and watch all the different games. The top two quarterbacks right now is Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Then after that, you have Quinn Ewers, who's also very good. And then you have the quarterback, Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. Feel like with Jalen Milroe, Mr. Lank, let a naysayer know, we have not seen the best football from him yet. But we have been teased at times. Now, statistically, a little bit of a down year, okay? We're in pretty much year 2 of him being a starter. And I really liked what I saw from him last year. When it came to passing, he had 2,834 yards, okay? Had 23 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Statistically, that's really good. This year, he has 6 interceptions, and he has 1,937 yards. He is likely to go over that, by the way. I mean, I'm looking here at Alabama's schedule, remaining schedule. Look, he got, obviously, they play LSU on November 9th, so that's going to be a really tough game. They play a Division II school, Mercer. Then they got Oklahoma, which is having a really bad year, so that's November 23rd. And then November 30th, they got Auburn, who's also having a down year. So I'm expecting Jalen I would love for him to be like over 32, maybe even 3,300 yards. I think that would be great for him. So I think it's totally possible. However, there are times I felt like Jalen Milroe, we didn't get to appreciate his arm as much, and he just really relied on his legs. I want to see him drop back, go through all his reads. Now, he's a different quarterback, and what I see in Jalen personally, I see a guy who's better than Jalen Hurts. Potentially. Jalen Hurts, he's played in the Super Bowl, even though he lost. He's played in the Super Bowl. I see a guy who can be probably what Cam Newton should have been as a quarterback, right? Maybe a more powerful version of Cam Newton. Obviously, Cam Newton is a bigger guy than Jalen Milroe, but guys, I mean, look, he's 6'2", 225. He's a very good sized quarterback, strong as an ox, and has an amazing arm. And before you doubt him, don't forget, Jalen Milroe beat Georgia. He beat Georgia. A lot of people forget that, okay? 41-34. That's what I show here. Absolutely balled out. I know that there were times where like it seems that there was some disconnect between him and Nick Saban, just from my perspective, taking and watching TV. But again, I see a quarterback who is absolutely amazing, but he has Ryan Williams. And Ryan Williams is, y'all, we could potentially see a 1,800 yard, 2,000 yard year from Ryan Williams next year. I'm trying not to get too high or too low. Ryan Williams he just might be good enough to be the first overall pick for the 2026 NFL draft. That's how high I am on Ryan freaking Williams. He is amazing. And I want to see this Alabama team get more talent in there. Okay. It seems that when Nick Saban left, there are a lot of people at the transfer portal. A lot of people transferred to a school too. Also, their coach who took in coached for the Washington Huskies, he brought some luggage as well too, right? But I want to see this team get better, okay? I want to see this team do well in the college football playoffs, get a little run going, okay? They really got to win out, I think. I think winning out is going to be very important for Jalen Milroe's draft stock. My whole thing is if he does stay, there's some dogs out there in the portal. There's some beasts. There's some people out there who they're going to test that chin. They're going to want Jalen Milroe's spot. So wherever he goes, he has to start, okay? Not only does it give him another year to get some of that beautiful NIL money, but if in the event Alabama wanted to take and give up on him and say, hey, you know what? We either go in the draft or we're going to bring in some new guys because I think we want to go into a different direction. I only see that happen is if they just don't finish out well and things really, as the young folks will say, crash out, But you got teams like Kentucky. Let me tell you about University of Kentucky. We got Barian Brown, who is the all-time kick returner for that division, for the SEC. Dude's a beast. Jamori Macklin, cousin of Jeremy Macklin. Deep ball, slot. He is one of the most talented receivers that we're not really able to take advantage of. We're not really able to appreciate. Then of course you have Dane Key, who is a deep threat. Think Will Fuller at his peak in the NFL. You just throw the ball up and he will come down with it somehow, some way. Except Dane Key could actually stay healthy, unlike Will Fuller. I could see Jalen going to Kentucky and balling out. There's several schools where, okay, he could leave Alabama, but maybe get into a better situation where he could shine a little bit more, right? The only thing is with Kentucky, they need an O-line. Their O-line is brutal. It is one of the worst O-lines in college football. But I don't know. I think, in my opinion, Jalen Milroe should take and stay another year playing college football. I think that if he goes into the draft this year, he's going to be considered the 5th best quarterback on the board. The 5th best. You can make an argument for a few other people. Now, in my opinion, I think he could be a first-round quarterback. In my opinion, 100%. But I don't think that happens this year, depending on how he finishes out this year. If he goes balls to wall, wins a national championship, they got to win out. Makes a crazy run in the college football playoffs. I think the universe totally exists where he is going in the first round, and he is probably a top 15 pick in the first round, maybe even top 10 pick in the first round. Okay. But another thing is his playing style. He runs the ball a lot. Now, statistically, I'm going to point some stuff out for you go crazy. Like, man, he just runs like crazy. Yeah, there are some games, not all games. There are some games where he just took over with his feet. And man, did it freaking work. He did fantastic. Game I want to take and talk about, actually, this year so far. So 2021, he had 57 yards rushing. 2022, he had 263 yards rushing. That was 2022. 2023, he had 531 yards rushing. Isn't too bad. And then this year, he's at 380. Again, we got, 4 games left in the year? Let me see here. Looking it up right now. Yep. Yeah. So November 9th, 16th. We have 4 games: LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma, and Auburn. Right. So it's totally possible that he could probably finish out the year maybe 700 yards potentially at the rate that he's going. But he also has to have an NFL team that's ready to buy in. The Eagles are bought in on Jalen Hurts. They are financially bought in, if you know what I mean. But man, I'm telling you, he's good. Don't give up on Jalen Milroe. If you're frustrated, he's growing and developing. He packed on a lot of muscle. Now, I know Jamani Ford personally. Met him in person. I do a pre-draft series, so I've interviewed a few of his guys in the past. I don't think I'll be having Jalen Milroe on the show, but Jalen is amazing talent, and he's like, man, he's bulking up. I can't keep this guy out the gym, man. So it's good to see, like, he's such a positive young man. He's godly young man. He's a great teammate, great locker room guy. We're still seeing him develop, man, and I just want to see a little bit more of a not finished product, because I think this is a years, like, it could be another 5 years that we're seeing the real Jalen Milroe, and it's a better, so much better version of what we're talking about even now, right? So, anywho, rant over. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Should Jalen Milroe, is he good enough to go to the draft this year? And if so, why or why not? Okay, for me, I'm going to say yes, he could go this year, depending on how this year finishes out, okay? Otherwise, it's no, stay another year, develop a relationship on the field as far as throwing the ball a little bit more. And I think a lot of people see him as a running back. When I say a lot of people, I'm just talking about the average fan who I talk to, like, oh, he's a running back playing quarterback. You know, man, if somebody could commit to him, kind of like how the Ravens do Lamar, it could be a truly beautiful thing. So comment below, smash that subscribe button. It costs you nothing to subscribe, y'all. Go ahead and do it. And I'll see you guys next time on The Touchdown with Doug Smith. Thank you for watching another episode of The Touchdown with Doug Smith, where we have exclusive NFL content and exclusive NFL interviews. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Follow us on social media. See you on the next one.